Cyberbrainer is an online training platform designed to help individuals and teams learn the latest technologies and become certified professionals, producing a comprehensive learning experience.
So what I would rather suggest is, I'm just randomly picking a field over here, which is built on the contingent worker business object, and it is called as current date plus 30. So they pick the current date over here, and they are trying to find the difference between the current date and the current date plus 30, which is obviously going to give the result as 30. And if I want to have the result in months, years, whatever it is, don't ask me why they have done it in this way. Instead, they could give a direct feel like constant feel like 30, but they've just used it for some purpose. Somebody has done this over here. That's it. So just understand that alone. Don't go to the nuances of this field and logic and everything. What I would rather suggest is, you can pick a field, and if I want to clone that particular field, what I do is I pick randomly any field, go to the calculated field options, and say copy. I can say copy, whereby what will happen is the same field, the calculations, everything. I can copy it and play around with this. So what I would rather suggest is pick some random field which you might feel complex or something of your interest, and then say, copy cal field and try to play around with these values. Instead of say value return, here is 30 days. I can say month, which is going to be 1 month, or if I want to have the same thing in hours. What is the value that I need to do? Of course we want to get some error. Find out what this particular error is. It says the field name is required, so I'm just going to give test_rn_1. I'm just giving, ignore the nomenclature for now, just giving a sample value in order for you to understand. I'm giving the value name and it asks. So what is going to be 30 hours into 24? It's going to give me a value of 720. Similarly, play around with this. That is the objective of this particular thing. Play around with calculated fields over here. That's what I want you to effectively do today. Anything, pick anything. You could have management level. You could have fields like, which is a field which is going to pick the manager L3, L4 level manager. So somebody, a direct or an indirect report is, everything is possible using calculated fields. Just look at what exactly it is doing, and then you will be able to understand it. Clear on this? That is the objective that I want you all to do today. Try to pick one or more of the calculated fields from your Maintain Calculated Fields report and find out what exactly are the fields that other people have created. Explore it, copy it, play around with it. Don't play around with the ones that they've already created. If you want to play around with them, copy it, create your own version, and then do it clear on this. Alright. Let's move on to the next one. I will ask the support to share this particular deck across with you today. So hopefully, another hour's time you should have this particular deck with you and you can go through all the options, all the tasks which are available here. So go through them and come out with any questions that you have and try to build more calculated fields over here. Right. Let's see activity over here. Where exactly, like I said, where exactly are we going to use the calculator? Fields number 1, we are going to be using it in reports, which are going to be seen next, or in your business process rules, common places where I would use it. These are the common places where I would use it, so I would use it either in my reports or in my business process rules. I've already taught you about how to use it in business process rules. Next, we are going to be seeing about reports and getting up, by the way, the field that you created. I want you to use it right now. We're going to be seeing a very, very small report right now. Next and OK, let's get to that next up. Alright. One small thing that you need to note over here is called as performance calculations. So if you have some calculated fields which are going to do some wacky calculations, or if you're going to have multiple step-level derived nested calculated fields, obviously it is going to take a lot of time. So you should be mindful about how my calculated fields are built, and also the performance parameters. So if you're going to build something like derived, nested, dusted, derived, 3, for levels, be very mindful about how long that it takes, which is a common database problem which we always have in hand. Alright. We will again revisit this when we go to reports. Alright. But for now, what I want to do is the last topic that I want to touch today is what is called as report creation. So we've seen about calculated fields. I'm just going to give you a very small. I'm not going to take more than 5 minutes of time. I'm going to only introduce how to create reports, and we are going to be using the field which get the car created. And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to create report. Alright. I'm going to say create custom report, and I want you to do the same thing right now. RPT test report. That's it. And give the report type as simple. Give it as a simple, straightforward report. There are other types of reports also available. I'm only going to introduce reports today. And then, for now, check this as optimized for performance, and next let this be checked. Don't uncheck this and the work data sources worker. You will get multiple options for workers, but choose workers for HCM reporting. Why just go to this particular description? So it says, accesses the worker as its primary business object and returns 1 row per worker, which means it is going to be a single instance and includes all active and terminated workers. And for all active workers, it is going to report the latest date, as on current date, and for terminated workers, whatever was the instance of the worker, as on their last working date. It's going to return that specific value. So choose the data source as workers for HCM reporting. Click on OK. Alright. Once you click on OK, you're going to get the report name and you're going to get the data source as well. And my data source filter, even though this particular data source is going to contain terminated as well as active workers. But I'm choosing in the filter over here. This is a default filter which I can use to filter data from my data source. I'm going to say only active workers. We do have other options over here and you cannot customize this. It is only those filters which are available in our data source. And then I have, like all employees, terminated workers, all workers. There is a difference between the two, but for now, choose only active workers as my data source. And over here in my primary business object is chosen as worker. Choose it over here as worker. Do not change this and, in my field, give it as worker. Give it as worker, alright. So this is going to give my worker detail information. So Carol is a worker. It is going to give worker. Next, I'm going to use get the cast feeling. What was the field name that you created are visible over here, and I can override here. Okay. This particular column in my report will show us whatever name I've given here. I'm just going to override this. PF. Calc. Just an example. And what I'm going to do is, because this is going to return hundreds and thousands of values, I'm just going to give a filter, just like what we give as a filter in Excel criteria. So I'm going to say I'm going to have my report only pick values of those employees who were hired. See post. 1/1/2023 greater than or equal to, and I'm going to give a specific value over here as 1/1/2023. Okay. See, custom reports are some reports that you are going to create, and there is also something called a standard report, which is nothing but Workday delivered reports. Workday delivered reports are called as standard reports, and the ones that you are going to create, like you said, out of the box, are all custom reports only. Alright. Clear. You can create any reports, but for now, and create today, I want you to create reports only on this particular configuration that I have showed you and use your own calculated fields that you've created. And, apart from that, if you want to also use any of the other fields which are available, go ahead and use it, because I want you to explore all the fields which are available. Explore it either other people's custom fields or your own custom fields, or delivered fields. Use anything that you want. My objective is This is a very simple report that I've created. We do have other types, complex ones, matrix, and other types of groupings, just like what you see in your Excel. We can do groupings. We can do matrix everything, but for now I want you to only run a simple report, because I want you to correlate your calculated fields and then your report, just to give you an example as what it is. And today as an activity, I want you to try it, and the report that I've created right now is a very, very simple. I want to look at the PF calculation for them, plus whatever report I have created with their worker details. That is all I need to do, and I've given a filter over here which is going to say only those employees who are hired after 1/1/2023. This is up to your mercy. I'm leaving it to you. If you want to pick only employees who are working out of us, who is reporting to Carol Lee, who is not reporting to Carol Lee, or who are already terminated, you can do anything. Only thing is the data source filter, which is available. If you want to pick terminated workers, now I've given it as all active workers. Go ahead and explore that as well. If you want to pick terminated workers, there are appropriate data source filters to pick only terminated workers. Go around and play with it.
Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.